Hey guys, welcome back to the Jays Fit Down podcast. I'm your host Jaden. Today we're going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and what an embarrassment they've been so far in the 2024 season. Now sitting at 0-4 after a loss to the Houston Texans in Week 4 on Sunday. Not a very good game. They kept the game close, but they still Caesar Stroud was carving their defense up, and you just look at a franchise that's put all this draft capital out here and drafting these high end players, but they have not seen much return on those. Getting guys like Trayvon Walker, Trevor Lawrence, just they haven't. It just has not been returning what they've been what they've been wanting. So we'll talk about that specifically here, doing a little bit of a deep dive into the Jaguars, and then we'll kind of get into the Davante Adams news about him, requesting a trade out of Las Vegas, and I'll list out some teams that I think will be interested in acquiring him. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button in the right corner of your screen. You'll see that there, and make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. Audio version. So if you're working out, you're driving, you want to listen to the show, just you can go ahead and do that there. I'll put the link in the description below. It's in most of my videos over the last couple of weeks, so you can find that there and follow us on those platforms. We very much appreciate it. Follow us on the socials, Jays Fit Down Pod. Y'all know the drill by now. If you haven't done already, please do so. Okay, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, let's take a little bit of a backtrack here before we kind of recap like Sunday and whatnot. So, as we all know, from like 2014 to like 2020. 2023, the Jaguars have just been, outside of one nice playoff run, the Jacksonville season in 2017, they've just been, one of the bottom barrel teams in the NFL, right? Getting like high draft picks year after year after year, just hasn't been very good. So when they draft Trevor Lawrence first overall, and everybody thought like, wow, the Jaguars finally got their franchise quarterback. And then after, a failed experiment with coaching, with Urban Meyer and everything, and they bring in Doug Peterson, a proven Super Bowl champion head coach. Like, okay, this is going to work. And they had a year where, they came back against the Chargers in the playoff win and made it to the divisional round against the Chiefs. But still, outside of that, the Jags have not really done much. And they have kind of sunk their way down to the bottom of the AFC South. And this year is no different so far, as they are the only winless team in the entire NFL at 0-4. They've only averaged 15 points per game. They've allowed over 27.3 points per game. Not really good, for a team with these high draft pick players that they've acquired over the last couple of seasons. Trayvon Walker being one of them. What's his name? Tyson Campbell. Like, you got all these guys. Like, they have got good players, but it's something they're not able to just gel it. They're not able to gel it together consistently. Is why I've been noticing the coaching has not been the best. Trevor Lawrence has not looked like a number one draft pick. Honestly, he's probably had maybe one good season to me where he's like really stuck out. Other than that, he's kind of slowly falling his way into mediocre quarterback play, and that's not what you want out of your number one pick. And so I think for right now, the Jaguars are going to have to take a step back and kind of evaluate the roster, evaluate the coaching staff, because it's just not looking. It's not looking good at the moment. These are important games that you're losing. They made it to the fourth they made it to first and goal at the 4-yard line against the Texans, and they could not punch it in. Turnover on downs. You got to score there. That's 4-down territory. You've got to score the football there. That's got to be a touchdown. They were not able to do it. It's just like those things like that. Those decisions, the execution is lacking. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence is not looking his best. He had a decent game against the Texans through 2 touchdowns, but still, and it's funny because I remember when Trevor Lawrence was in high school here in Georgia. He went to Cartersville, then went to Clemson. He tore it up there, right, under Dabo Swinney and stuff. Got national championship over Alabama. Lost to Joe Burrow and LSU that year, but nobody was beating them that year. But anyway, the point being, it garnered him made him a first overall draft pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But again, I have not seen that translated to the NFL. We had not seen that. We saw that with Joe Burrow, like almost, immediately in his second season, his full, first season starting. He you saw what everybody was raving about with him, in the 2021 season, year after, he had his rookie year, he got injured after one playing like 5 games. But so honestly, I don't know what to say about Trevor Lawrence. I really don't. The Jags, I think Doug Pearson's seat is getting warm, not hot, and they're going to have to figure out something. Press Taylor and the offense, they're not moving the ball on a consistent basis every week like how they should be. So they're going to have to figure it out. Defensively, you take Aiden Hutchinson could have been a Jaguar right now. Think about that, and look at the impact he's made on the Detroit Lions. And I mean, but these things happen. So, but all that being said, guys, the Jaguars just are not a very good football team, and we should just address that right now. And I don't know if it's going to get any better anytime soon. There's a lot of things that they need to address, they need to fix before you can consider them even a average team. So and being in a division like the AFC South, with the Colts just won on Sunday, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They look pretty good. Now it looks like Joe Flacco's going to be starting for them. He's a quarterback that can get you some wins, as we saw last year what he did, helping the Browns to the playoffs. Obviously, the Texans, we know what they can do. We know what C.J. Stroud can do, and as that offense continues to incorporate their new pieces more and more, Stephon Diggs, get him involved. When they get their running backs, back from injury, like they're going to be a problem. So the Titans, I mean, even got a win on Monday Night Football. So it's the Jaguars right now just sitting at the bottom of that division. They're not going to get any traction anytime soon, I don't think. But moving on from that, we got Davante Adams, and he has requested a trade out of the Las Vegas Raiders, and everybody's wondering where he's going to go. A lot of people are linking him to New Orleans, and the Jets, of course, because he played with both of those quarterbacks previously, of course, with Derek Carr in Las Vegas before he left, and then playing with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay for all those years. So it's looking like people are connecting him to both of those two teams. But I would not be surprised, if the Chiefs were in on this, if the Cowboys were in on this. Those are some receiver needy teams right now. Even the Cleveland Browns was mentioned as a club as well that could have interest. They're needing they're needing that receiver. Amari Cooper hasn't really been playing that well. Had a lot of drops this year, so that's something to think about. Honestly, I don't know, man. I think Davante Adams should definitely get out of Las Vegas. He's about to be 32 years old soon. He's not going to get you. He's not going to be worth probably more than a second round draft pick at the most. Definitely not a first. Maybe a couple years ago, but not now. He's not worth a first round draft pick now. So it's looking like Vegas is just trying to sift out just what they can get for him. And honestly, I think the best fit for him right now will definitely be either Kansas City or New Orleans. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm a Falcons fan, and can't stand the Saints, but I mean, the offense right now under Clint Kubiak, although they have their games where they just kind of are iffy, when they played Atlanta on Sunday, they couldn't really, their offense wasn't playing like how it could normally play, or how they played the first couple of weeks when they scored over 90 points through the first couple of games. But you still got a quarterback in Derek Carr that you're familiar with, your Davante Adams, and an offense that has gotten a whole lot better under Clint Kubiak's tutelage, calling the plays there. Therefore, that team makes sense. And you look at the Chiefs, obviously, we know Patrick Mahomes, who would deny the opportunity to play with Patrick Mahomes, right? So, and Andy Reid, in that offense. And right now, they lost Rashee Rice for what looks like the whole season. I'm thinking, don't quote me on that. I know he's got that injury, so I'll keep you guys updated on that as far as what's going on there. But they won't have him for a while, so they're gonna need that. They're gonna need a receiver, and a lot of people were talking about them trading for Tyreek Hill. Listen, I'm like, that's not. Look, Hill wanted his contract. He wanted money that Kansas City was not willing to give him, and he went to Miami. He got that money. Now the return of going to playoffs or now that may have not been existent since he's arrived there, but he got his ring, Kansas City. and now he got the money. So, I mean, but I understand, Tua Tagovailoa going down with injury, and like they virtually have no quarterbacks on that roster and down in Miami. So could make sense, but less likely. More likely they would trade for Davante Adams and for Tyreek Hill is what I would think. So I don't know how that's going to go. It's very NFL is just always like weird, as we all know. But the Raiders, I mean, are a mess as well. They just haven't, I don't know what's going on with them. They've got some things they need to figure out as well. Offensively, defensively, still they're a good defense, but they get spotty in some games. So just something to keep an eye on here over the next couple of weeks. Of the trade deadline, I believe, is November 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So still got some time, but definitely something to keep an eye on there for Davante Adams to see if he will leave Las Vegas and go somewhere else. Hey, man, the Falcons are always welcome, open arms. Even though I know we won't get them, but wishful thinking, guys. Sometimes, it's nothing wrong with a little wishful thinking every now and then, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, all right? So, don't harp on me about it. But anywho, I mean, other than that, guys, that's pretty much, I mean, what I wanted to come on the show and talk about today. Like I said, good matchups there in week 4. A lot of teams still improving, just getting to 500 and staying up there above the float. The Vikings were able to survive that win, over Green Bay and everything like that. So we'll see how long they can stay on top. I made a video about them. My previous video was about them. So if you want to check it out, you can do that. More housekeeping things here. Just if you guys haven't already, please make sure you get a copy of my book, my latest book attached. So if you like thriller books, psychological thriller books or anything like that, please, I would love if you guys will get a copy. It's available for purchase on Amazon. So I'll put in the link in the description below. So make sure you do that. And it's a good read. I promise you, you'll like it. But anyway, we'll see you guys next time on Jay's Fifth Down. Thank you.